Module 6 focuses on a philosophy of care that is relationship-based and is ideal for the care provided in perinatal palliative care. The relationship-based care module is based in part on Swanson's theory of caring, which is introduced and applied in this module. Relationship-based care, as you can see in this figure, is centered around the patient and the family. And there are many components to relationship-based care, ultimately creating a caring and healing environment. Mary Kolar-Rudis is the editor of this 2004 book, and you can read extensively about this model of care within that book. Relationship-based care includes providers' approach, which is to all individuals and parents, approaching them with respect, with a desire to seek and understand their unique perspective and inform them of their options. Relationship-based care results in the creating and maintaining of a caring and healing environment for both families and for care providers. The conversations in which parents explain their understanding of their baby's condition, the meaning of this baby in their lives, and what is most important to them, inherently leads to a deeper interpersonal understanding between the healthcare providers and the family. Healthcare providers often receive satisfaction from these conversations, in which they can help parents to be the best parents they can be under these circumstances, which is unfortunately a very difficult situation. And ultimately, the goal is for parents to have no regrets about what they've decided to do when it comes to the outcome. The next slide shows the theory of caring according to Swanson, 1993. And the structure of caring in this figure, going from left to right, depicts the process of caring, what it takes to be caring, and ultimately with client well-being as the intended outcome. Caring is a process grounded in maintaining belief in persons and their capacity to make it through events and transitions and face a future with meaning by maintaining a hope-filled attitude. This means that if you espouse caring yourself, you believe that persons can get through new situations, difficult situations, often, with your help, and that this can be done with a sense of hope, not focusing on all the things that can happen, all of the tragedies, but with a sense of hope in the human experience. Caring depends on knowing and understanding a circumstance through the eyes of the parents, being emotionally present with them, doing for them what they cannot do for themselves, and enabling them to care for their child and themselves. And this occurs through the care providers, the perinatal palliative care coordinators, informing, supporting, advocating, and preparing them for the future. Maintaining belief is the broadest concept in the theory of caring. It's an approach that should always be maintained when interacting with parents and the interdisciplinary team members. Having a hopeful attitude, focusing on their ability to get through, and that they are going to be with their baby and they're going to make the best decisions that they can make, conveys caring. So this is the goal. And also approaching other team members with respect, concern for them, and truly listening to what they have to say. The second step, if you will, in the caring process is knowing. To know these parents and to know other healthcare providers is to strive to understand events as they have meaning in the life of others. So for the parents, you as a perinatal palliative care coordinator, you want to learn their story. You want to get to know them. And if you know them, you develop an understanding of what's important to them, what this baby means to them. If they have named their baby, and most of these parents have, call the baby by name. This really lets parents know that you recognize the importance of that baby to them and the importance of that baby to yourself. Ask them, what would you regret not doing or not experiencing? Ask them some questions that just gives them permission to tell you about themselves, what they think is important, what they've been through up till this point in time. And then being with is much harder. I think it's difficult for many of us to really be emotionally present with another. And this is just vitally important in order to feel cared for. You're not distracted. You're not looking at your clock. You don't have a very restricted time frame, which is very difficult to do sometimes. But as a perinatal palliative care coordinator, that's really what you want to do. It's like you have all the time in the world for this particular family. So be emotionally present to each other. Listen. Just listen. Ask a question and then just be quiet and listen. Discern their values, their beliefs, and their needs. This takes practice. This is difficult. But once you've learned how to do it, you will realize that they know what they need and you need to hear it. So being with, difficult, but crucially important. The next step or component of the process of caring is doing for. This is what most of us are really good at doing because we like getting things done. This really refers to actions. Doing for the other what she would do herself if she were able, if it was possible, is what doing for is about. There are a lot of things that these parents who are so grief-stricken, in a state of shock, trying to figure out how do they go on knowing that their baby is so ill. What is it that you can do for them that they can't do by themselves? Possibly navigate the healthcare system if they are overwhelmed, if they don't understand, because the healthcare system can be complex. For the other interdisciplinary team members, you might want to identify and fill the gaps of the information that these other team members need. So you're going to do for others what they cannot do for themselves at the time. And that demonstrates caring, and the other feels cared for. And then enabling. Enabling is helping them do what they can do for themselves, but almost facilitating their ability to do it. So it's facilitating the other's passage through life transitions and unfamiliar events. Provide information as needed, recognizing and encouraging them to do things that they didn't even know that they could do because they don't know what the rules are. So the baby is alive right now during pregnancy for these families. And from your perspective, you might ask, how might these parents make the most of this time? That provides opportunities for you to enable them to do what they can for themselves. So moving on to a case study, how do we apply this theory of caring and this relationship-based care to a family situation? How might a perinatal palliative care coordinator get to know a mother and father? What is it that you could say? You might say to them, after you've met them, you're in a quiet place where you're not going to be disturbed. Tell me about your baby. Not what's wrong with your baby, but just tell me about your baby. What do you know about your baby? The baby's personality, maybe? Their thoughts about their baby? You might ask, share with me what this pregnancy means to both of you. Have the father say pregnancy and this baby means to him, to the mother. They might have different thoughts. That's the knowing. Get to know them. Being with somebody emotionally takes time and practice, as I said before. How might you become more comfortable sitting and listening without saying a word to someone? It takes practice. How can you get opportunities to practice? You can do this with a colleague. You can do it with somebody that you are close with. Anytime you're communicating with others, stop yourself and just be there emotionally. Not so easy, especially when we want to do for others. Just be with. And then that doing for, that action. This might be something like helping the couple understand the baby's condition. They may have heard words, they might have a diagnosis written down, but they don't really understand why, what they're told is wrong with their baby, why that means their baby probably won't live very long. So you can pull out photos, drawings, show them a website, explain about the baby's condition. And then later, work through aspects of a birth plan. These are all things that you can do for. They don't know what needs to be done, and you do. So you can help them with that. Explain when one decision impacts another decision. So for example, sometimes families say that they want to spend every minute with that baby close to them after the baby's born. But they also have the sense that, well, but if they could just, if their baby was breathing and if they could resuscitate the baby, then they want that to happen too. Well, you know from your experience that in order to work on that baby, to resuscitate that baby, they have to move the baby away from the parents. But the parents don't know that. So one thing you can do for this family is to let them know that if in fact they want this baby to be taken care of, resuscitated perhaps, that means moving that baby away from them, and that's going to take away from their time with that baby initially. And then it's the parents' decision. But what you do for them is you explain how one decision and another decision have an impact on each other. And then enabling. Couples may need encouragement to parent their baby during pregnancy. And most people don't think of parenting during pregnancy. But when you have a limited time with this baby, you want to make the most of the time with the baby. So you, as a care coordinator, can encourage them to parent their baby. Ask them, what is it that you would want to do with your baby? What have you pictured yourself doing with your baby? Can you do that now? So it might be taking photos. You picture yourself with your baby in the spring. Well, maybe the baby may not survive till spring, but you can still do photos. Get a professional photographer, have a friend take pictures of you out in the park with mom pregnant, but baby is still there. Baby is present. So take photos of the pregnant mother and the rest of the family. Maybe you've always pictured yourself reading books to your baby, or that's what they say is important. Have them read books to their baby now. They can, if the baby survives, they can still read to their baby later, but they still have done something that they wanted to do as a parent with their baby now. And lastly, they may have ideas that they want to go places with their baby. Go to a park, go to some special place, go meet a grandparent. Do that during pregnancy. Help them just see that that's a possibility. And then they can make of it as they want. They can take photos and say, here we are with baby, meeting the grandparents. Those are all types of enabling. And these are all ways that you as a care coordinator can show caring, focus on relationships, and create a safe and healthy environment for these families.